Okay. Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Cool. My name's Lucy. I'm a first-year history student. Nelson Mandela once rightfully said that the freedom of South Africans was incomplete without the freedom of Palestinians. A few days ago, Black Power activist Angela Davis proclaimed Palestine as this generation's South Africa. I am half South African. What I know of South Africa's apartheid history I can see clearly in the reality facing Palestinians today. I see it in passbooks. I see it in drastic inequality and segregation. I see it in the heavy Israeli military presence. I see it in increasing brutalization and massacre of Palestinian men, women and children. I see it in the branding of liberation movements as terrorism. I see it in the complicity of international governments, and I see it in the complete and daily disregard for Palestinian humanity. I'm not the only one. The UN defines apartheid as including similar policies and practices of racial segregation and discrimination to those used in South Africa, a definition they have unequivocally applied to the State of Israel more than once. It is only through the near-blind support of international governments that Israel's crimes against humanity go unchecked. America gives around $8.5 million to the State of Israel in military aid alone every day. The economics of this is simple. Without this funding, the massacre of over 2,000 Palestinians last summer would not have been possible. David Cameron recently described the UK as a firm friend of the Israeli government. As was the case with South African apartheid, we cannot rely on our government to fight this injustice. Peace talks have routinely failed. The occupation in Palestine and the oppression of Palestinians has only worsened over the last 67 years. What brought apartheid South Africa to its knees was a global, comprehensive and far-reaching boycott. Palestinians have called on the world to do this in aid of their freedom. This strategy works. This strategy is doable, but only if we all stand in solidarity with Palestine and say enough is enough. We must fight for justice. A lesson I have learned from the history of South Africa is that you will never truly be free as long as your freedom depends on the oppression of somebody else. As students, we must seek to make the world of the future more just. As a university, we stood on the right side of history when we boycotted apartheid South Africa. We must do the same now, make apartheid history. Vote yes to BDS and free Palestine.